A defense version of what General Mkhwanazi has disclosed in the Matlanga Commission with regards to the closure of the political killing task team. Closing down the SANDF is like having a house without walls, effective CCTV systems, and reaction capability should thieves violate your space uninvited.
Major General Koki or Mary MOTSEPE has been lying to the commissioners, and her statement has been very, very much inconsistent. And what tops it all is how she disrespected the commissioners. To me, that is very problematic. In this video, I wanted us to look at these contradictions in her testimony, and how she has lied to the commissioners, especially with many aspects of her testimony.
Okay, commissioners, I think it was sometime in March, myself and General Sintumul, we were from General Sibia's office. It was an informal meeting. When we were about to go out in the entrance, it's an entrance sort of, it's a security entrance. That's when General Sintumule asked me if we're diverted the Pktt is disbanded. Then I said, I'm not aware. Then he said, all those dockets, they are coming to you. Then I said, it's fine because political killing falls within my mandate.
So she started by talking about how the dockets came to her after she was informed that the political and loving task team was being disbanded. The first question that I have is that she's saying that this is a matter of a concern because of the Pktt is working with them. She has members who are part of her office that are working in the Pktt. She didn't come across as if she's someone who's concerned after she heard from a superior that the Pktt is being disbanded and that the dockets are going to come to her. And that is after the meeting. I encourage you guys, if you want to understand what is the sequence of the events, to go watch the video that I made. I know it's literally 1 hour long, but I encourage you to go there because it will help you to understand a lot of things, especially when it comes to disbandment and the process thereof.
Hey, General, that you had no problem with the dockets or you being associated with or the dockets coming to you because they fell under, let me loosely say, your mandate.
Yes, commissioners, what I'm trying to say, when General sensitized me about the docket that
yes,
the Pktt is going to be disbanded without giving me some reasons, I didn't have a problem because I know political killings falls under my mandate.
So she says that she then later on received these dockets. And then when she received the dockets, she then went on leave after they done the audit process.
Whilst I was on leave, then they explained to me that there was an arrangement which were made and then itinerary were completed. I think it was done on the 24th of April and they were planning to take the dockets to KZN.
Which she was told that they were going to go back to Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi. That in and of itself, from the testimony of Dumisani Khumalo, what we've heard from him, this is a blatant lie. Because from what Dumisani Khumalo told us, there was never an intention for them to give the dockets back to KZN.
From the onset, I didn't know why they were coming to you. I will elaborate when we go through the reasons why they were brought here. 2 to 3, 4 days, I called her just to find out what the General Mkhwanazi is saying. It's me who's persisting about this docket because it's a concern for me. Then she called General Mkhwanazi. Then General Mkhwanazi said that she told me back now when I called her again just to find out what did General Mkhwanazi said. Then she said that General Mkhwanazi said that he's got nothing to do with those dockets. I even said, just like that, as a provincial commissioner, actually those dockets belongs to him. He's the main custodian of the docket as a provincial commissioner. Then she said, hey, I don't know what am I going to do. Then I said, we must do something. Then she said, let me call the national commissioner. She called the national commissioner. After some days again, I called her just to find out what did the national commissioner's response. Then she said that the national commissioner said that General Sibia must ensure, or General Sibia, it is his environment. He can use his own discretion about those dockets. Then on the...
So how do you audit and take the dockets back when the team is already disbanded? So clearly that is one of the things that are very much of an inconsistency in his story.
I found General Sibia and General Sintumole. Then General Sibia said that maybe I've already heard that General Mkhwanazi refuses the docket, and the national commissioner now says he must use his own discretion in those dockets. Then General Sibia said that because of the political killing falls under your mandate, under your component, now the ball is in your court. You must see to it what you do with those dockets, assemble officers so that you can proceed investigating those dockets.
Secondly, she says that the Pktt was one of the task team that are never there forever, that these task teams do not last forever. but at the same time, you're saying that you need this Pktt for the upcoming elections.
There was a valid reason during that period.
Yes.
There was a valid why a tax team, because commissioners, we do have tax teams also,
Yes.
Irrespective of political tax team. We do have tax teams where maybe there's cash in transit, where there's also traditional healers are killed, where there's a lot, where women and children are killed, raped and maimed, the gangs in Western Cape. We also have that particular tax team, but they are not forever. When we stabilize that threat, the tax team ceases to operate.
So, what do you mean? Are you saying that the disbandment was supposed to happen after the elections? It seems like that is the type of mentality or type of argument that she's trying to give us.
After the meeting with, maybe I must proceed with now to what the commissioner is asking now. After that engagement with General Sintumule NCB, then I went to Pktt. I've already informed him to get those officers. Then I went to them. I explained what transpired actually, the background, how did this docket came to head office. Then I instructed Pktt to take all those dockets from the strong room. I saw them, they were there in the crate. Then I said, colleagues, because now the ball is in our hand, as detective, let's start first with the inspection. Let's take this docket so that we can familiarize ourselves. To answer that question, Commissioner, which you said that stock set from Johannesburg to go to KZN. Before you embark, you familiarize yourself with the dockets. But within that composition of the officers, mostly were from National Investigation Unit and the Murder and Robbery. The stock theft were only for the collection, because I know their strength, I know their expertise. So stock theft in head office, they don't investigate. But murder and robbery and National Investigation Unit and taxi violence, we do have dockets. Commissioners, I also wish to mention that although I was not involved in the disbandment process, I agree with the view that the Pktt should not have been disbanded without proper consultation. I do not know if the minister has the authority to disband the Pktt. However, even if the minister had the authority to disband the Pktt, he had to first consult with all the relevant stakeholders, which would have included me as the component head responsible for serious and violent crimes. I also do not agree that the Pktt should have been disbanded before the upcoming elections. It is a well-known fact that KZN has the highest incidence of political killings, and there's usually a spike in politically motivated killings before elections. It would not make sense to disband the Pktt immediately, unless the stakeholders had advised the minister that immediate disbandment would be appropriate. Having said that, I do not necessarily agree that the Pktt was more successful than any other team investigating the same types of crimes.
Then, if the dockets, if the disbandment was supposed to happen immediately, isn't it that you're supposed to concern her for her to find reasons immediately as to why the disbandment happened? Because she didn't ask immediately. She asked later on, when everything was said and done, when the dockets were even here in Pretoria. Then that's when she's going to say, please tell us more. Tell us more. Why did you disband? If you are interested and you love the work that these people have been doing and you think it's very important, especially with the upcoming elections, why would you not want to find the reasons then as to why did they disband? They rather be the ones that are going to be like, we don't know the reason yet. Shadrach Sibia is the one that is going to explain the reason. But for her to fail to ask, to me, that is a red flag in and of itself. Thirdly, she says that they wanted to return the dockets back to Mkwanazi, but after Mkwanazi refused to take the dockets, they had to deal with the dockets.
So now when you disband this Pktt, some of the members of Pktt actually, they are not all from KZN, they are from other provinces. So when they go back to, if it is disbanded, members go back to their station or unit of origin, because some of them, they are not actually from the specialized unit murder and robbery. They were taken from the stations.
Yes.
And then now they are at the Pktt. So when this Pktt is going to be disbanded, some of the members will go back to murder and robbery of, if they are members from KZN, they will go to the murder and robbery of KZN, and the others will go to their respective.
So was it your understanding that the members of the Pktt, the now disbanded Pktt, when they go back to their stations, all of them were now going to slot into murder and robbery unit? Was that the plan?
Yes, it was the plan that when they go back to their station of origin, it depends from state. Already they've been exposed to the investigating these murder cases for the past 5-6 years. So when they go back to the station of origin, we can't lose that capacity. Actually, they must be slotted into the murder and robberies.
Then the question remains, why would you want to deal with the dockets when you're saying that it is better if Mkwanazi deals with them, because Mkwanazi has been dealing with them?
The docket being here, then they must go back to KZN back and forth because I see it doesn't make sense. Then she said that she still have to make some arrangement to call General Mkhwanazi about us to take the docket back to KZN.
To your knowledge, when exactly had the dockets arrived at head office? I'm asking that because you are basically saying as early as March, there was already talk that the dockets should go back to KZN. When had they arrived at head office?
The docket arrived on the 28th of March.
And talk for them to go back was when?
Okay, Commissioner, the docket, when they collected the docket on the 28th, already they discussed it there, Brigadier Khopoditata, General Shintumile and the other officers, that actually this docket, they are only here for auditing because they audited them whilst they like the counting. They counted from 1 and then the number was 118. And then actually they were here for auditing, so the General Shintumile as a divisional commissioner, she's going to hand them back to KZN. So actually the docket came to our office on the 28th of March.
Oh guys, I'm just so confused. Like her testament was so confusing. And what is topping it all was her over-explaining and even telling us things that are not necessary, repeating the words over and over again was very, very problematic to me. How can you say that the dockets, you're not going to work on them, they're going to go to Mkhwanazi, then later on they are saying Mkhwanazi doesn't want the dockets, then you want to work on the dockets, which leads us to the point of, were you investigating the dockets? Because he said that they were in a safe. She said it herself that these dockets were in the safe. When she comes, she changes their mind. She says that no, they were actually planning to investigate. They were applying for budget so that they can investigate, because they can investigate things that are happening in KZN while they are in Pretoria. Hey, but guys, what's going on? This does not make sense. So you guys are going to travel, which means more money because you have to travel. Whereas if it's happening in KZN with officers in KZN, it's easier. But if people have to move from Pretoria to KZN, guys, you guys are making us to be like we are Dululus. We're not fools.
I do not agree, Commissioner, because of in these 9 provinces, we also investigate political killing murder cases, and we also investigate cases of murder, serious murders. So now, if you say Pktt is the best team than any other teams, I think we are demoralizing our members who are working so hard as we sit here chasing suspect.
Also, my question remains. I know that she trusted her superiors, but she keeps on talking about the discretion that's to be ahead, the discretion but that's to be ahead. But if you guys remember from Fanny Masemula's testimony as well as Dumisani Kumal, it seems like they did not have a choice. It's not about the discretion. They didn't have a choice. The minister said, I don't want this anymore. He even got angry in the last meeting that they had, which is why the dockets had to be moved very quickly. So now the very people, you want them to provide direction as to what should be done with those dockets, whereas the minister has already decided that let everything go. I still encourage you to go watch that 1 hour video, guys. That video is so packed with all of these things that these people are lying about.
Actually, commissioners, the factors or facts which I will depose during that discussion, I think I will input that maybe we can just disband Pktt immediately the way it is stated. We have to look into other considerations like the one which I've already mentioned, like the issue of the elections, because the municipal elections are next year. And as we know, the environment of KZN political landscape, maybe we were supposed to say, let's look into the issue of the political environment in KZN. Maybe let's just take it maybe step by step, not just to disband immediately as alluded here, but I can't say what does immediately.
I spoke about Mtwa's case, that in Mtwa's case and other cases, those statements that are missing, I think over 30-something statements that are missing in those dockets.
So in those dockets, Captain van der Berg brought it to my attention that there were 32 statements which were missing from the docket. Then immediately it raised some concern. I even asked Canon Gould, because he was leading the inspecting team, the inspection. Then I asked him, they didn't experience similar incident like this one where statements are missing. And then Canon Gould informed me, General, actually, we also realized that Umlazi and Greytown, there were also statements missing, 10, 12. He even said that it is mentioned in that inspection matrix. And then from there, I penned down this information note. I brought it to the attention of General Sibia that In this docket of these three docket, the Great Town, Umlazi, and Mtata.
She blames the Pktt, Tabang.
So, commissioners, this docket, especially the one which I'm alluding to, Mtata one, they were inherited from my office. But the statement which was annexed under the diary C is their handwriting, is the member of the Pktt. Where Colonel Odendal stopped in the diary where he wrote whatever investigation he conducted, it shows you have to sign with a date and time. But the one which I'm mentioning is the Pktt members.
Concerned about her taking the stance that it's the Pktt that is wrong, because I believe that it's not the Pktt that is at fault when it comes to these dockets. Probably they might, we'll see for an explanation from maybe one of the members that worked in those dockets in the Pktt to explain to us why. But essentially she's saying that the statements were taken and she doesn't understand why the statements were taken out of that docket, even though there is proof that the statements were there.
But let's put it in writing so that maybe he can respond to why this statement are missing from the docket, whereas they've been annexed under the C-clip. That's when I wrote this information note to General CB through protocol, through General CB, so that he can communicate with General Kumar. But that is why I put this information note down, so that he can take the matter up with General Kumar.
And the question remains, there was a point where she went on leave. How sure is she that those statements were never taken by someone who works in their office? That's the problem about moving things. That's the real problem right there about moving things. Such things happen. You lose things because whom are you going to blame? The Pktt can say it's not us. Your members are going to say it's not us. Who are you going to blame? Because you guys, you moved things. So now things are lost. That is why the Namtla's case is not moved. Because someone stole the statements that are very much important. But clearly now, since the docket is back with the Pktt, probably will start seeing the change.
The Namtla case was investigated prior from my office by Lieutenant Colonel Odendal. So during October 2023, the docket was taken to the very same Namtla docket. There were two dockets attempted, and then they made one. They were taken to the Pktt. Then when the docket came back, General Kumalo informed the sister of the deceased that the docket are back to our office. But before that, General Kumalo explained, I'm using General Kumalo as a divisional commissioner, and then who said that he's a project manager. I'm going to use, because I engaged with the sister of the deceased. She also told me the very same story. That when the docket before they were taken to our office, General Kumalo explained to the sister that they identified a motive and they were supposed to go through with the takedown of the target. And then the target applied for an interdict against the investigation. So there was an interim, there was an interdict, let me say there was an interdict against the investigation, but it was dismissed by the Mtata High Court, I think this year, January or February. And then later, when they were still busy again now to make the takedown, Commissioner, now we are speaking things of last year. I think it was somewhere October. The docket was taken in 2023. They were busy with whatever investigation. Then last year, when they were supposed to conduct a takedown, they identified was the motive and the target. There was an interdict. It was dismissed this year. General Kumar told their sister that when they were supposed to do now is another takedown this year, the docket was recalled by General CB. Said they couldn't conduct a takedown this year, even last year, because of the interdict. So the sister called General CB complaining as if we are taking them as a family for a ride. Then General CB gave me the number of the sister. I took this docket from when they were still busy with the inspections. I took this docket, gave it to Captain van der Berg, because he was familiar with this docket. He used to work it with Colonel Odenda. And then I took it from him, but he was attending a lot of High Court matters. Then by that time, I had two members whom I deployed in Quebec. They were investigating the insurance matters, which is very prevalent in Eastern Cape, especially in Quebec. Then I took this docket, so that while they are in Eastern Cape, they must conduct the investigation in this docket. Then the sister, through that explanation, she was happy. Then she communicated with Colonel Kenen and Mapeto. They were now the new investigating officer of this matter. So whilst they were also investigating, that's when now the docket now taken back to KZN. I was just explaining here what transpired of the Mtata case, the Namtla one.
Another thing that I want to explain to you guys, you might be hearing the 118 dockets instead of the 121 dockets. Remember that, guys, other dockets were with witness A and witness B. You remember the Armel Swartz case that they wanted to take, the ones of Katiso Molefe, Vusumuziket Matlala. They were with Abo witness A and witness B. So those dockets, they later on asked for them, which they came to Robonkwashu and the rest. So they didn't go with the first bunch of dockets that went to this lady's office.
During General Mkhwanazi's media briefing on 6 July 2025, he indicated that 5 dockets had warrant of arrest that had been issued and that the dockets are gathering dust at the head office of General Sibia without being given the necessary attention. And I said it's not true.
Why do you say it's not true? Because this related to whether there were any investigations taking place. Is that not so?
Yes, Commissioner.
So what this meant was the dockets are sitting at head office with no investigations going on. So it was in that sense that General Mkhwanazi was saying that the dockets were gathering dust. So why do you disagree with that? Because no investigations were taking place.
Commissioner, before the investigation was supposed to take place, we have done the inspections. I think it's part and parcel, even though it's not physical investigations of the docket. But by mere investigation, requesting the funding, it shows that we needed to go and do the investigation.
But General, you've just agreed that what General Mkhwanazi was talking about was the fact that no investigations were taking place. So inspections of dockets and so on do not go to the question of actual investigations. So in that sense, the dockets were gathering dust. Why do you not agree with that?
That's the explanation which I'm giving, Commissioner.
She then spoke about the failures of the Pktt, saying that the Pktt was not all glorious the way we are making it. They had their own failures. Actually, they were not investigating. They're not doing anything with those cases. There's cases that dating back to 2016, if not 2006, if I'm not mistaken, that the Pktt was not investigating. So it was not perfect. It had its own share of mistakes.
The oldest docket is from 2016, where suspects were identified through Section 25 Sapuna, but the suspects were not arrested. And then in the big inspection report or inspection matrix or schedule, the last entry on this docket, I think it was, investigation was done on 2023. In this report, Commissioners, I was just highlighting to General Sibia the outcome from, I didn't take all the 121 dockets to put them here. I was just highlighting, like 2016, we are now at 2025. But the last entry in the docket, it was 2023.
She spoke about wrong entries, and I've said even before that she spoke about statements missing.
There's a warrant of arrest in the docket. So the commander, instead of urging the investigating officer to trace the suspect, then when we went through the diary, it never indicates where the suspect were traced. The main purpose of signing a warrant of arrest is to execute. Execute meaning you must go and trace the suspect. So this one, it came, is attached, and then the case, and the commander just say circulate. How can you circulate a suspect who was never traced?
It's exactly that circulating that I'm interested in. What does it mean to circulate a suspect?
Okay.
How do you do that?
Okay, Commissioner, when we circulate a suspect, we complete this SAPS 55 for a purpose that there will be a hit if the suspect is arrested somewhere. Then in the system, because now it's captured in the system, it will be a hit. Commissioners, in this one is still warrant of arrest. Furthermore, there was one docket where the warrant of arrest was completed by the investigating officer, but not signed by the prosecutor or a magistrate, meaning the warrant was never issued. So it's a warrant of arrest J50, completed, but not signed by the prosecutor or magistrate. So it's just a J50 there in the docket.
So in a way, she was literally trying to say that the Pktt guys was failing. The Pktt was not doing the work. And their disbandment was very much justified. But at the same time, speaks about winding down. We needed the Pktt with the upcoming elections. How do you need something that you think is not useful? They're not doing the investigation, but you need them for the elections. Hey guys, hey bo. Man.
It was myself. Before Brigadier Kunene came, I was with Brigadier Pktt and Colonel Mguli, but Colonel Mguli got some commitment work, related commitment. Brigadier Kunene came, and then he explained the purpose of his visit. He said that General Mkhwanazi instructed him to come and take some photos, and then the strong room must be considered as a crime scene. We must condole of that strong room as a crime scene. Then I asked Brigadier Kunene, crime scene, what crime is it committed when we condole? Because we've been going through that. If it's a crime scene, we have already tampered with it. I don't understand the logic of condoning of the strong room as a crime scene. Then he said, this is the instruction which he was given. Then from there, through our engagement, then I said, what is the interest of taking photos? Then he said, no, he was just given the tasking by General MKHWANAZI'S. And then from there, I said, let me call General Sibia, because General Sibia by then was still in office. I called General Sibia. General Sibia said that, let me find out from the commission. I don't know whom did he call. He said, let me find out from the commission whether photos of those dockets can be taken or whether you can also give statement.
Lastly, she dealt with the issue of the leaked report, the audit report that was leaked. And she says that someone leaked that audit report. My question was like, yeah, who leaked that report, that audit report? Because it's you and Shadrach Sibia who had the report.
I asked her, how come, what's happening here? Then he said, General, I don't know. Then she asked me, who did you give this report? I said, the only person whom I gave is General Sibia. I gave him not electronically, it was a printout. Then immediately I phoned General Sibia. I said, General, I gave him the whole story. That General Brigadier Mati called me on Saturday. Then here's the newspaper clip now. Then he said, let me go and get the newspaper. So around 11, he called me. He said, yes, I see the leak, I see the newspaper. Then I said, how come that report appears in the Sunday World? Then he said, he also don't know.
I put it to you allegedly that high chances it was Shadrach Sibia, because Shadrach Sibia is the very man who probably leaked the disbandment letter. Because remember that Aboho Tumsani Kumalo and everybody else, they saw the disbandment through social media. Meaning this man leaked that letter of disbandment in social media. So high chances he leaked the audit report because he's a leaker. He leaks and leaks. I don't know what you guys think about all of this. And what you guys think about Auntie MOTSEPE's testimony. Hey, yeah, Mama, no. Mama is not making sure, her story is not making sense, and she's overcompensating by over-explaining. Because she knows that if she doesn't over-explain, she's opening for more questions to be asked, and she's opening for her lies to be exposed. But we saw even from Madlanga telling her that there was no investigation, how she became so defensive. That no, there was an investigation. But at the same time, she says that no, they're still applying for budgets and stuff. Then they'll investigate after. So Kahle Mkhwanazi was right. They were gathering dust. And she did say later on that they even put these dockets in the safe. So isn't that gathering dust? I don't know what you guys think about this. The fact that she even realized some of these mistakes, like missing dockets, the fact that there's wrong entries, the fact that these people are not really properly investigating everything, that is proof enough to show that she did peruse through the documents, she did look through the documents. Then why didn't they investigate then what they were waiting for? And why were the dockets, as Madlanga asked, why, and every other commissioner asked, why move the dockets from KZN? That still remains. And I'm thinking that her superior Sintumula will come and answer, because we want to understand what was the purpose, especially since they're saying they were going to send the dockets back. Audit, just for audit. Oh, what Lena? There's more to that. That is why there's things that are missing right now, like statements, like what they did this intentionally. Nonetheless, guys, tell me what you think about MOTSEPE's testimony. Auntie came in defending Shadrach Sibia, at the same time throwing Shadrach Sibia under the bus, telling us how she was betrayed. Like literally, her testimony was literally all over the place. Comment your thoughts. I'll see you guys on my next upload. Bye.